You do not have the right to come here.
For conspiracy theories gone mainstream, look no further than Fox News.
You can tell the Democrats, George Soros, and the angry mob that's coming here, you either come the right way like everyone else or be ready to face the military and a one-way ticket back to where you came from.
The migrant caravan blamed on liberal financier George Soros, who is Jewish and a Holocaust survivor. Soros was a target in last week's mail bomb spree. And even though the Pittsburgh shooter also blamed a Jewish organization for the caravan, Fox aired this clip just hours later.
A lot of these folks also have affiliates who are getting money from the Soros-occupied State Department.
Immediately, it was criticized as anti-Semitic.
These attacks, particularly on Soros, are driven largely by his Jewish faith. The fact that he's become a symbol is not an accident.
It's not just Fox. This congressman also blamed Soros, tweeting a video showing the caravan as a mob.
We have to stop the conspiracy theories.
Duran Ezeksson's mother fled Germany to escape the Nazis.
We have to take note of what we have become, and we have to each commit individually to walking this back, toning it down, understanding others, and demanding of our politicians the same.
You watch the Clinton News Network, CNN? It's a joke.
The president is no stranger to peddling conspiracy. Without proof, he accused Soros of funding protests against Brett Kavanaugh. He also said unknown Middle Easterners have infiltrated the caravan. When asked for proof,
there's no proof of anything. There's no proof of anything.
And that's what worries so many in this country, that if facts don't matter, hatred can get a free pass.
And Ellen joins us from Washington. Ellen, you mentioned the caravan. What's Trump's latest move on that?
Well, it was announced tonight, Andrew, that President Trump has ordered some 5,200 troops to the Mexican border by the end of the week. It's being called Operation Faithful Patriot. Now, the White House says it's about securing the border as the caravan moves closer, but a couple of things to point out. The caravan is still about 1,500 kilometers away from the United States. It will not arrive at the border for weeks at the earliest, and it will likely be much smaller in number by the time it does. So for those reasons, this is being seen as more of an election strategy, Andrew, to rile up, to please the base before next week's midterms.
Okay, thanks very much, Ellen.
You're welcome.
Now, if you ask the people who collect data on hate crimes in the States, they'll tell you they see the effect of an increasingly poisonous public discourse.
I think our polarized environment, we see people, bringing a kind of toxicity into the political conversations we've just never seen before.
Last year in the U.S., the number of anti-Semitic incidents increased by 57% compared to the year before. That's the biggest jump since this data was first collected in 1979. And when Donald Trump responded to the Pittsburgh mass shooting, he suggested the answer to deadly violence was more guns.
If they had protection inside, the results would have been far better.
Armed security is not legal in Canada's houses of worship. Still, anti-Semitic crimes reported to police here rose by 24% from 2015 to 2016, even as crimes targeting Muslims and Catholics declined. Now, some, if not many, Canadian synagogues do use security guards, either regularly or on special occasions. And we've asked Rabbi Michael Dolan to join us because, Rabbi, you're with the Temple Sinai congregation right here in Toronto. Thanks for joining us, first of all. Can you explain for us, first of all, what the security situation is at your synagogue?
In our synagogue, we have paid security on site anytime the building is open and that we're expecting the community or members to be present for an event.
And I understand that for major milestones, special events, you hire police to be there.
Correct. For special life cycle events, as well as for our High Holy Days, our Yamim Noraim, in the fall, we try to have an even greater security presence.
And so why did you feel the need to have these layers of security?
Hiring of security guards actually began at our synagogues and many synagogues in the Greater Toronto Area with 9/11. Before then, it was quite common for us to be open and not to have a formal security presence. But since that time, we've found the need, not merely in response to world-shattering events such as this or the horrible anti-Semitic crime in Pittsburgh, but for the larger atmosphere where anti-Semitism is present and is on the rise, we need to make sure that community members and those who participate in our traditions and our services feel safe and secure when they come to be with their community.
But what is it like for those community members? I mean, to have paid security at the doors all the time?
Sadly, it's something we've already become accustomed to, that it's such a part of our life every day, that we need, people in fact feel more comfortable seeing a security person than being concerned that no one is present and the door is wide open.
You know, and I'm curious because I still wonder if in hiring paid security to be at the synagogue at all times whenever those doors are open, whether you feel like you've given something up, that perhaps you've paid a steeper cost than simply the cost of hiring security.
Mm-hmm. I remember when we first did it, and we've had to make difficult decisions. There were those who urged us to have cameras at the doors and to buzz in every individual. And we decided at our synagogue that we weren't willing to give up on that person-to-person contact, that people shouldn't have to feel like they're entering a fortress when they enter a synagogue or a Jewish day school. And so you're right, we did have to make decisions about how much we were willing to give up in order to provide our community members with that feeling of security they so richly deserve.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Rabbi Dolgan, it was good to talk to you.
Pleasure to be with you.
And one last note on this story. The American Jewish Committee is calling on Jewish communities across the country, along with elected officials, religious and civic leaders, and other allies, to flock to synagogues this coming Shabbat, from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. The nationwide campaign is called Show Up for Shabbat. It's meant to show that people won't be scared away from showing their faith and their identity.